Now, Bronny James has definitely been the talk of the internet for these last couple of days, and really things are going crazy about him. But one thing no one is talking about is where he may be going to school in this most recent report that just came out. Now, some reports have actually currently said that Bronny James' favorite school to land him is going to be North Carolina Central, above the bigger schools like Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, and UCLA. I find this crazy because Bronny James going to North Carolina Central and turning down these other big colleges, in my opinion, does not make too much sense. Now, if you want the easiest way to try to go to the NBA or go and get on a professional team, but in this case, Bronny's goal is to get to the NBA most likely, why try to go to a smaller Division I school that's going to make it harder to get to that goal? It really doesn't make too much sense why a lot of reporters are saying Bronny would go to NC Central. But as you guys should know, LeBron James, of course, skipped college and went straight to the NBA, but he had offers from practically every school. And it looks like LeBron would have gone to Ohio State if he had a choice. Now, Bronny at this point has a lot to work on his game. Of course, he is not the main player on his team and he's more of a role player, but he is continuing to work on his game. He's playing against some of the best competition in California, and being only a sophomore is only going to increase his skills and make him ready for that next level. But at the end of the day, Bronny James going to NC Central is not the smartest move, in my opinion, for him, because there are bigger schools that he has offers from that he could go to, and if he can get playing time on those schools, would set him up to play in the NBA a lot easier than going to a smaller D1 school, which the programs in basketball schools are not as good, and it's just going to make it harder for him in the long run. It doesn't really make too much sense, but a lot of people are speculating that Bronny James may end up going there, which is a very interesting move. Now, of course, on the other hand, by the time Bronny James does graduate, the rule for him to go straight from high school to the NBA may be banished. So he might be able to go right from Sierra Canyon to the NBA, and that could also be another move as well. Now, a lot of top high school recruits are most likely going to start doing that, because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are just trying to get to the NBA to make some money off of their game. Now, they might not be 100% ready to play in the NBA, but a lot of them just want the money and just try to take care of their family or take care of their life and what's going on, and they just want to make money, so they want to go straight to the NBA. Now, personally, I think there's such a small number of players who are really ready to go straight from high school to the NBA. Of course, Zion Williamson was one of those players who could really do that. Of course, he went to college because he had no choice. But at the end of the day, there are a lot more options opening up for these players. And I think by the time Bronny James does graduate, you're going to see this rule that you can go straight from high school to the NBA. Now, of course, you have the other routes like the G League route, or going overseas, or just taking a post-grad year and then trying to go to the NBA. But honestly, it seems like taking a year to develop and work on your game is definitely benefiting a lot of players, because it's going to help increase your draft stock. If you're not 100% ready to go play in the NBA, and then you go train for this 1 year and you work on your game, your jump shot, your handles, all that type of stuff, of course it's going to help you increase your draft stock. And in that case, you're going to have a better time in the NBA, because if you're a better player and you're more advanced, there's a lot better chance that you're not just going to be switching teams or playing in the G League, and you can actually keep a spot in the NBA. That's why I think it's so important for these players to make sure that they're ready to go and not just jump the gun and try to get to the NBA. There are a lot of players that you know that they might have been top players in high school and tried to go to the NBA, and when they did, things didn't work out too well. They're probably in the NBA G League, or they keep switching on and off teams because they really didn't take that time to develop and work on their game. And now once you get to the NBA, it's too late. You're going to have to keep trying to either stay on the G League or get on an NBA team, and if not, maybe you have to go overseas. And a lot of these guys, man, if they could be on an NBA team, they would be. So personally, I think that rule is going to be gone by the time Bronny James does graduate. And if Bronny James keeps working on his game and he gets good enough, man, who knows, Bronny might just go straight to the NBA. But that would definitely be a crazy move. And in that case, if Bronny James does make that move, he's going to try to play with LeBron. Of course, as many of you guys know, LeBron James does want to play with his son, Bronny. And them two being on the same team, a father-son duo, I don't believe has ever been done. So that would be historic. That would be crazy to see a father and son, especially LeBron James, arguably one of the best players in the NBA, go ahead and play with his son. Like, that's just mind-boggling. And no one has ever seen that happen before. And especially being these guys are two great players, man, that duo would be amazing to see. Now, hopefully Bronny James does continue to keep putting in work, and hopefully we will see him develop as a player and really be the leader for Sierra Canyon. But only time will tell in this case. Now, on the other hand, as I said before, Bronny James' name has been in the news like crazy these last couple of days because the situation with him and Larsa Pippen. Now, if you guys don't know, a lot of reports have been going around saying that Bronny James was DMing Larsa Pippen, and actually Bronny James' mom and Bron got involved in the situation, actually posted something on their IG. I'll put the picture right here, but they were mad. Now, Bronny James is a minor. He's only 16 years old, and they're saying he was DMing Larsa Pippen, going back and forth, and he did like one of her pictures. I had reported on that in a recent video. But at the end of the day, bro, Bronny is just a kid, and at the end of the day, my video was just a joke, but a lot of people are taking it way too far. Bronny James, every move he does is under the spotlight, and I think that's really tough for a 16-year-old because he's going to make mistakes. There's certain things he's going to do, and everything's going to get blown out of proportion. So he really has to be careful with what he's doing, but at the end of the day, she's about 46 and he's 16, so that's not going to work, and people really need to chill out for coming at Bronny because, man, it's getting out of proportion at this point. A lot of people are just blowing up his spot, and, man, things are not looking too good for him. As it seemed from the reports that came out, he was frustrated as well as his parents, and especially Savannah James, for this whole situation blown up out of proportions. But you guys gotta let Bronny James live. He is just a kid at the end of the day, and he's gonna make mistakes. As long as he continues to learn from his mistakes and keep putting in work, man, on the court, he's gonna be straight. Now, let's just give Bronny some room to chill out. And I'm wondering, guys, do you think Bronny James will end up going straight to the NBA if he has the chance to do so? Like I said, by the time he graduates, there is a very valid chance that that rule might be gone where you can't go straight from high school to the NBA. And I think a lot of players his age are going to try to go straight to the NBA because at this point, a lot of people don't want to go to the NCAA because of how many rules they have to make money off of your name. Look at Sharif Cooper. Auburn is currently under investigation. He is as well, and he can't play just because of the NCAA rules. So at this point, it's really looking like the G League or overseas or going straight to the NBA seem like the best move. But let me know, which route do you think Bronny's going to take? Do you think Bronny is going to go to NC Central? Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get a new notification every time I upload a new video. And let me know, do you think this whole situation with Bronny and Larsa Pippen is getting out of control? Make sure to comment that down below. All right, it's LNH, I'm out.